welcome to Surfing Stuff. My name is Carl Coates, and today we're going to be looking at my top 5 surf breaks that I enjoyed surfing. That's the key thing here. The 5 surf spots that I actually enjoyed getting to the beach, waxing up and paddling out and actually enjoying the surf. You know, sometimes you paddle out at a break and and it's just like the vibes are not so kiff in the water, or you know, there's all the varying factors. So we're going to look at my top 5 surf breaks from around the world that I enjoyed surfing. Number 5 is a break on an island called Reunion, which is off the coast of Africa, Reunion Island. And before I tell you which surf spot it is, like you, in my early 20s and even late into my 30s, there were periods where I traveled, I wouldn't say extensively, but I got to travel to remote locations and get to surf them. So yeah, I actually made a list here. I looked at it and went, okay, well, where actually have I surfed? And I looked at the continent of Africa. Where have I surfed around there? And I made all wrote down the surf spots. Europe, where have I surfed in Europe? Jotted down a few beaches there. Scandinavia, where have I surfed around? I'm currently in Norway. Where have I surfed around here? I made all my notes. I looked at the Caribbean. You know, what a beautiful part of the world. I looked at the time I sailed up through the Caribbean. Actually sailed through there twice. Where did I surf there? Which surf spot? Were there any surf spots that were like, hey, that was pretty good? And then I looked at the United States of America, the few beaches I surfed there. I wrote them down, had a look at them. New Zealand, surfed there only on the North Island, and I wrote the surf spots down. I thought, okay, well, let's have a look at that. And then Indonesia. And having looked at all the beaches, now, maybe you're watching this and you're going, hey Carl, well, why don't you tell us all the surf spots? Well, there's lots and lots, but there's also lank surf spots that I've not yet got to. So, you know, I'm not saying that I've surfed all the breaks around the world, because I haven't. But the top 5 that I enjoyed surfing, that I came out the water stoked, and the folks that I surfed with, you know, made the vibe, and it was, you know, and you know, the conditions and all that type of stuff. So, first stop, as I said to you, when I thought about it, Reunion Island is number 5. And the spot in particular is Le Hermitage. Now, just around the corner up the road is a place called St. Lou. I had some marvelous surfs there, going back 30 years now, 1994. I toured there with Anthony Brodovich and his brother Mark, and Mark Snyman, an old-time surfer from the KwaZulu-Natal lower south coast, commercial fisherman, solid bloke. I toured there with those guys, and St. Lou was beautiful, but I think, and I had some great surfs there. But Le Hermitage, I really enjoyed. I enjoyed my surf there because it was challenging. You know, you go out through the lagoon. For those of you that have been there, you go out through, through the chains, and you can either bleed off to go surf the right-handers or the left. So I surfed a bit of both, and the company that I had out there with in Anthony and Mark Brodovich and Mark Snyman, and a couple of the local guys that were there, they really made it, and was really special. The waves were good, and it was memorable. Now, also what I remember, obviously once you've surfed and it's time to come in, you got to kind of paddle through that pass in the lagoon, and you know, you get an opportunity to hold in the chains depending on what the tide's doing, and then you got to once you get through that, you paddle through that lagoon back up to the beach, and then you walk up to the car park. And yeah, Le Hermitage, I would say that's in my list today, that's number 5, Le Hermitage and Reunion Island. Now, I haven't been back in 30 years, so I don't know. The last I heard that you weren't allowed to surf on the island. I stand corrected in that. Maybe I heard all wrong, but if you know if it's open to surf, put a comment in the comment box down below. And while you're at it, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, please consider subscribing and pressing the bell so you can be notified of the. I've got a great interview coming up with Paul van der Walt very, very soon. So you'll be put the finger like this, go like this, subscribe, and then move that little mouse, that little cursor, and then put there and put the bell so you could be notified. Anyway, Spot number four on my list, it takes me to the Caribbean. Now, I've got to be careful here. Man, if I let go of where the specific beach that I enjoyed surfing the most, oh, the boys will walk me off the plank at the Willie T. So I'm not going to give you the exact beach, but it was in the Caribbean, and I'll give you a clue. Here's a clue. It's not Puerto Rico. So yeah, the Caribbean, man, I'll tell you something, that's a special place. If you're into sailing and that type of stuff, you should check it out. That whole chain of islands, man, there's so many good waves around there. Right, moving on. Number three on my list. Number three takes me, so we've gone Reunion Island in the Indian Ocean. Then we went across to the Caribbean. Now number three, to me, is a beach in South Devon in England called Bantham Beach. I want to tell you something. The first time I ever went down there, I didn't think much of it. The first time I surfed there I think it was 2007, I didn't think much of it. Later on, I got to actually teach surfing there. I wouldn't say I've spent a lot of time there, but I've spent a reasonable amount of time, and I've had some very, very good waves. The water's a little bit chilly, but I'll tell you something, I'm a longboard surfer, so that place, to me, was fantastic. I had some really, really awesome sessions at Bantham Beach. And you know, if you in England listening to me now and you want to start surfing, get a hold of Bantham Surfing Academy. They do board hire, surf lessons, blah, blah, blah. You need to get hold of them. You need to surf that break. Man, on its day, it's flipping amazing. Number two on my top 5 surf breaks that I've enjoyed surfing. Number 2 removes us from England and takes us to South Africa. It takes me to my home, to where I come from. And number 2 on my list is St. Michael's on Sea, commonly known as St. Mark's. Oh boy, St. Mark's. St. Mark's. A lot of folks say it's Cutback Cove, and yeah, it can be Cutback Cove, yes. I ride longboards, and St. Mark's is just look, every beach can get really cuck when that onshore's howling, let's face it. But when St. Mark's is on, it's a beautiful wave, whether it's 3 to 4 foot, and it can also go up to 10, 15 feet and still hold. St. Mark's comes at a definite number 2 for me. And number one on my top 5 surf spots that I've enjoyed surfing, number 1 has got to be, for me, none other than South Broom Beach in KwaZulu-Natal. Yes, South Broom Beach. Oh man, first surfed there in 1991, December of 1991. Actually, let me just rephrase it. I first boogie boarded there in 1991. Get out the boogie, bro. I did that, then I progressed and I rode knee boards for a while. Had a fantastic time. Then stood up. Got to stand up. Got to stand and be counted, as Anthony Brodovich always used to tell me. And South Broom that was my home break. Obviously, there's other breaks around here, but South Broom Beach to me is my number 1 surf spot. If you've never been there, hey, plan a trip. Go April, May, best time of the year, just before the sardines come. You've got those land breezes in the morning. That spot is my number 1 spot. Obviously, there's a bit of bias here. It's my home break. Who wouldn't make their home break number 1 on their list anyway? So that's it. That's my top 5 surf breaks. I hope you've enjoyed it. And I want to encourage you to, in the comment box down below, tell this channel, and tell the world, the subscribers here, where your top favorite breaks are. It doesn't have to be the top 5, but just tell us where your favorite breaks are that you dig surfing. Now, I must say, in closing here, like a lot of you, I did my pilgrim to the North Shore of Hawaii, Oahu. You know, I thought about it. Is that one of my, surfing on the North Shore? Were any of those breaks my top 5 breaks that I enjoyed surfing? And I've got to be quite frank with you, though it was fantastic to be there, though it was awesome to paddle out at sunset, have my first surf at pipe and off the wall, and the 7th hole around the corner, and blah, blah, blah. It was frightening. I did not enjoy myself. My first surf, in fact, my only surf at Pipeline, it took me about 45 minutes just to build the courage to walk down the beach, and it wasn't even a good day, not even close, to walk down the beach and paddle out. And plus, when I had a couple of waves, and when I walked up the beach, who was sitting on the wall and off the wall there? Where I walked up there, Joel Tudor was sitting there, so I felt like an absolute wally, and I didn't enjoy myself. So yeah, Hawaii was a go-to place, But yeah, Brew, it was great place. It was awesome, but you've just heard my top 5 breaks. Anyway, leave a comment down below which is your favorite break. Until we meet again next time, you take care, keep safe, and we'll see you soon. Cheers.